Problem solvers, today we're going to think about how to grasp adding on a number line. Remember, math is about grasping. Then, when you're ready, you can symbolize it by writing equations. So first, we're going to look at how do you grasp adding on a number line with actual base 10 blocks. First thing is to look at what our problem is today. So I like to think of it as group 1 and group 2. And I also want you to choose your level for difficulty. For some of you, adding 15 plus 16 is the perfect level. Some of you, you are ready to start adding money. And if you use the US dollar or another system where they use the dollar symbol and decimal, think of it as $0.15 plus $0.16. Now you might already know how to add this in your head either way, but learning how to do it on a number line is something that a lot of people struggle with. Like, why does it make sense, or why do I have to do it? So first thing we want to do is set up the groups. So we have 15 plus 16, so we could do 15 here. This would be 15. You could also think of this as 1500ths if you're using the base 10 blocks, and be thinking about the hundreds flat. When you think about the hundreds flat, this would be 1/10, and each of these would be 1/100th. Now, I don't currently have the 16. I have 15, so I just need to add one more. So you could think of it as 1500ths plus 1600ths, or you could think of it as 15 plus 16. So most kindergarten, first graders, second graders, depending on which country you're in and your age, you might think of this as 15 and 16. Again, do what's best for your brain. I want everybody to be able to learn. Then another way of representing it is to think of it as this way. A dime plus a nickel, which is 15 cents, again, using US dollars, because quite frankly, that just happens to be what I have. And then the 16 cents, that's one dime, a nickel, and a penny, so that's 16 cents. But lining up the money is not going to be completely perfect with today's number line, but you'll get the general idea. So when we talked about grouping and regrouping, we could do it this way. We could do it as 15 and do it like this to see it, or we could just keep it organized and use our 10s, because we have the 15 and the 16. So I'm going to mix these all together to see what they are. And these lines here these tick marks are for every 10. So we have the 15 plus the 16, and you can actually feel the number line. So I have 30 plus 1 is 31. And again, if we're going to truly regroup, we can just kind of bump those off and regroup it into a tens rod and add the 1. So another way to do it is, if you're thinking about money, you could think of it as, I have 0 cents here. My 10 cents would be right here. 20 cents would be here. 25 and 30 would be here, but guess what? I can trade that in for a dime, and then I still have that 1 afterwards. So this is how you could do that on a number line. And to label that number line, this is where a lot of the kids get really confused, and it's hard, kids, because a lot of your parents weren't allowed to add on a number line. They weren't told how to add on a number line. Number lines were basically used just for going back using a timeline. And then we wondered why kids struggled with timelines. So this would be plus 10 here. And I don't like to write plus 10 or minus 10. I like to just leave it at 10, because if I'm doing subtraction later, I can put it here. So these are skips of 10. This is another skip of 10. And since I'm counting how much I have all together, on the bottom is where I'm going to keep my running total, kind of like a ruler or a tape measure or measuring tape. So you have 10, 20, that's what would go here. And then you have another skip of 10. And again, your running total, your subtotal would go at the bottom. And then we have just a tiny little one right here. That adds it up to 31. So your total here would be 31 or $0.31. So let's go back to show it this way. 15 plus 16 is 31, and 15 cents plus 16 cents, you still have no full dollar. You have $0 and 31 cents. Now, if you want to do it the standard algorithm way, you want to try to understand how your parents or grandparents learned to do it, they would have done it like this. 15 plus 16, you have 5 plus 6, which is 11. Carry the 10. You don't carry the 1 because that's 10, 11. When you put it together, that's 11. But you split it. 10, 20, 30, 31. And the way they were taught the standard algorithm for money was you line up the decimal. Again, we weren't allowed to ask why. And if we were asking why, they would say, stop asking why, just do what I show you. 5 cents plus 6 cents is 11 cents. And you carry the dime. And you have 1, 2, 3 dimes. 31 cents. And again, you don't have a full dollar. It's $0.31. If you need to replay this a few times, adults might need to replay it to see how a number line with base 10 blocks works. Kids, you might need to replay it too. It might make sense to you faster because the adults were taught this way so many times. And a lot of anxiety was developed with math for a lot of adults because, again, they were taught, don't understand, stop asking why, just copy, repeat after me. All right, so now I want to challenge you. I want you to think, how can you create your own number line? What addition equations can you create? I challenge you to create your own using base 10 blocks. Write your equation and build it on a number line. Then if you're in school, try a gallery walk. Ask your teacher if you can do a gallery walk. Teachers, see if you can do a gallery walk so that you can show each other different problems. Those who are ready for decimals can do those decimals. And those who aren't ready yet can get exposure to the decimals. Teachers, you can learn a lot by circulating the room and see what the students understand.